Hello and welcome to the 69th edition of the Marex Maritime News. With the nations still gripped with the deadly pandemic, let us take a pledge to make peace with the nature on the occasion of the World Environment Day on 5th of June. We need to focus on ecosystem restoration through the healing process of reimagine, recreate and restore. A healthy ecosystem is a key to enhance people's livelihoods, counteract climate changes, and prevent the collapse of biodiversity. Let's grow more trees, make our cities greener, and clean up our rivers, oceans, and coasts. Happy World Environment Day. These are the headlines on Monday, 7th June 2021. Drewry predicts highest officer shortfall by 2026. India raises concern over burnt chemical ship polluting its coral-rich southern coast. Maersk calls for $150 a ton carbon tax on ship fuels. Boxship hire hits unprecedented $135,000 per day. ICS highlights potential funding partnership with $5 billion for mission innovations, mission for shipping. Diminishing attractiveness of a career at sea, coupled with the rising man-birth ratios and continued fleet growth, will lead to the highest shortfall of officers to crew the world's merchant fleet in over a decade by around 2026, with important implications for both hiring and future manning cost inflation, according to the latest Manning Annual Review and Forecast report published by the global shipping consultancy Drewry. The current officer supply shortfall is estimated to equate to around 3% of the global pool.
Seafarers are the biggest assets of the shipping industry. The shipping fraternity needs to take seriously the finding of the report published by global shipping consultancy Drewry. It has been rightly said that the slowdown in officer supply is showing a downward trend, and as the attractiveness of careers at sea is decreasing. There are many responsible factors for this slowly changing scenario, and one of them is mainly the COVID pandemic, because the negative effects of life at sea due to this pandemic has forced the seafarer to review their decision of retirement and take up the shore jobs. We have been observing the highest attrition rate amongst the cadets and officers. The estimated future shortage of seafarers highlights the need to address the factors that contribute toward attracting qualified people and ensuring that existing seafarers have a satisfying career in the maritime sector. Another fact is that the shipping industry needs to focus on the improvement in the system of recruitment and training of the seafarers, which will help definitely finding the desired one. However, training numbers need to grow significantly to avoid the project future shortage of officers. The shipping industry and the relevant stakeholders should not expect an abundant supply of qualified and competent seafarers. Without concerted efforts and measures to address key manpower issue, promotion of careers at sea, enhancement of maritime education and training is now the need of the hours for retention of the seafarer. And it has been rightly said that looking ahead to 2026, the supply and demand gap is expected to further widen if the situation is left uncorrected at this stage.
In an attempt to tow MV Express Pearl to deeper waters, the vessel has partially sunk off the coast of Sri Lanka, which is 300 kilometers from Rameswaram in Tamil Nadu. The incident has raised concerns among Indian authorities of pollution reaching the coral-rich southern coast.
The sinking of Express Pearl, a burnt chemical-laden container ship, on 2nd June 2021, nearly 200 miles from Rameswaram in Tamil Nadu, which carried several hazardous and corrosive chemicals like nitric acid, has put Indian Coast Guard authorities on high alert. The ship also had 300 metric tons of bunker oil in its tanks. The effects of the anticipated oil, chemical and plastic pollution of marine environment might soon reach the coral-rich southern coast of India, which is home to several millions of marine species. The National Center for Coastal Research under Ministry of Earth Sciences has already sprung into action to mitigate the effect of this impending disaster, which might severely damage the coral reefs and lagoons along with marine life near the South Indian coast. The coral reefs might take several years to grow back, while several fishermen could be jobless for weeks to come because of the pollution caused.
AD Muller Maersk has called for a $150 a ton carbon tax on shipping fuel that would drive up the cost for an industry that delivers 80% of the world trade. It said such a levy would help to bridge the price gap between the fossil fuels that the vessels consume today and the greener alternatives which are currently much more expensive. Fuel cost approximately would almost double up if the measures were to be imposed today because of how the carbon dioxide emissions are measured.
The shipping industry is one of the big carbon emitters, accounting for 2% of global carbon emissions. And if we were a country, then it would make us the 6th biggest pollutant above Germany. Needless to say, decarbonization in shipping is essential for climate change and must be implemented globally. Therefore, to incentivize ship owners to invest in newer technologies, it's absolutely essential to impose a tax. This is especially important for smaller ship owners that will struggle with new costs to invest in technologies. And while there are concerns on whether the supply chains would be disrupted and who would be bearing the ultimate costs, needless to say, the ultimate consumer who would be bearing this cost element would be very small per product. Therefore, we have to take some hard decisions and to make the shift towards a zero carbon future for international shipping.
Indian Maritime University, a central university under Ministry of Shipping, Government of India, offering various UG and PG courses in the maritime sector, UG programs in marine engineering, nautical science and naval architecture, PG and research programs in naval architecture, marine engineering and management. Campuses located in Chennai, Visakhapatnam, Kolkata, Mumbai and Kochi. For admissions and program details, please visit www.imu.edu.in.
Charter rates for short employment of box ships have gone out of control, in a sign of just how frenzied the container market has become. A freight forwarder is reportedly paying $135,000 per day for a short-term charter of S. Santiago, a 15-year-old container ship with a capacity of 5,060 TEUs.
There is no doubt that charter hires of box ships have gone up. Not just normally, but abnormally. It seems that shipping is booming. Shipping had seen some of its best times between 2003 till September 2008. It was a time when an average bulker was earning about $39,000 per day in 2003, and by 2008 it was earning $50,000 per day. It was a period when every container line operator wanted to hire ships, even if the box ship rates were abnormally high, as asked by some of the ship owners. Then came the financial crisis of 2008-2009, and there was a fall, and a bad one. So now, are we back to happier times in the container liner industry? Last month, May 24, we heard of ships being fixed on long-term charters, anything from 2 to 4 years long-term charter. But the charters were all starting from the first quarter of 2022. This was actually an indication that liner operators felt that all appropriate tonnage would soon be unavailable, and rightly so. We saw the box ship Belita of 8204 TEU capacity picked up by CMA CGM at $48,000 per day for 4 years. Then Charleston of similar size, 8214 TEU capacity, was taken by PIL for $47,500, while presently Charleston's rate was just $30,000. Then again last month, CMA picked up the box ship Northern Juvenile of 8814 TEUs at $48,000 per day for the next 5 years. Even the small box ship owners are making merry. The box ship Honga A, Singapore, of 653 TEU was picked up at $15,500 per day. Smaller ships of 350 TEUs are asking for $7,500 per day. It appears that anything that floats, which can transport a container, can demand the price. In July 2020, the Boxship owners were having a charter hire for a Panamax of around $9,000 per day. It has risen more than 10 times a year. By fixing a Panamax ship at $135,000 per day, though only for a period of 80 days, we need to think, will there ever be a limit to this? The answer is yes. Will such fixtures continue firming up through this summer? It is a bit doubtful. While all signs show a positive outlook, its sustenance remains a question mark at this moment. Let us not forget that during the last shipping boom of 2003-2008, the asset values rose rapidly and ships were sold off before their delivery date. Ship owners were rushing to shipyards with orders. It is happening today. But then, what happened last time? A bust came in September 2008 and the shipyards were running to the owners for receiving the installments and securing maritime writ of attachment pursuant to Rule B in New York courts, which became very common. We hope it does not end like that.
The container shipping lines today are recording booming profits after years of substandard financial performances. This being the case, it is no surprise that the charter hire rates for container ships have also increased substantially. The recent charter of a 15-year-old 5,000 TEU ship at the rate of $135,000 per day for a short-term charter is making the waves. Not only because of the high charter rate, but also because of the charterer is not a shipping company per se, but an international cargo freight forwarder. This makes me believe that the international cargo interests are sending out a clear signal to the shipping lines that they are willing to fight it out in the marketplace with the shipping lines to protect their margins. Their margins have lately taken a big hit because of the increased freight levels. A second conclusion, based on the charter period, which normally would cover 1 or 2 voyages, is that the cargo interest estimate that the course correction in the freight markets should be coming in next 3 to 5 months.
The International Chamber of Shipping, ICS, has welcomed the launch of Mission Innovation's Mission for Shipping, which aims to enable 5% of the global deep sea fleet to run on zero-emission fuels by 2030.
Mr. S. Bharat, who was presently working with the International Association of Classification Societies (IACS) as audit manager and formerly working with IRS, left for his heavenly abode due to COVID-19 illness on Friday, the 4th of June in Bangalore. The 63-year-old graduated from DMET in 1977 and served IRS for over 27 years in different positions in Mumbai and Chennai. He resigned from IRS in 2014 to join IACS. Mr. Bharat is survived by his wife and son. May his soul be blessed with a place in God's heart. Captain Muhammad Aslam from Jamshedpur, aged 43, passed away due to COVID on the 7th of June 2021. Captain Aslam began his cadetship with SCI Limited and was now a superintendent with Synergy Ship Management. He had been in command for 5 years and ashore for 8. Captain Aslam was always known by his friends as a goal-oriented individual with strong leadership values. Gone too soon, may his soul rest in eternal peace.
Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for watching. See you all next Monday.